One. Thank you for joining us for the YWAM News Show for August of 2026. This month, we will talk about how Lidia and I got involved with Youth of the Mission, learn how YWAM is responding to the devastating floods in Nepal and the earthquakes in Argentina and Colombia. We'll hear some of the ways YWAM is serving in Papua New Guinea, check out some upcoming training opportunities, and more.
Thank you for watching or listening to the Youth of the Mission News Show podcast. This is our 172nd episode. We are your hosts, Bill Hutchison and Lydia Hogan-Tobler. You can contact us, subscribe to future episodes, leave comments, and find links to all the stories we talk about on the show notes for this podcast at ywampodcast.com/172.
So we are active on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. So you can please like and subscribe on those channels so you can get updates and interact with us. Now, if you're currently watching us live, just drop us a message to let us know where you are and how you're listening. And if you have any questions, and Lydia and I would be happy to engage and have a chat and see what is happening where you are. So Lydia, thank you very much again. After last month's mix-up, I'm glad that you're willing to have another go. We've done some more testing this time, so we should be good this time.
Thanks. Likewise, once again, thank you again, Bill, for having me.
It's looking like it's a bit warmer there than it is here at the moment.
Oh, yes. Lots of sun, and I think this might be our last few days of sun before the Norwegian winter and cold starts to kick in, so we're making the most of it today. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, it's always nice to enjoy that summer before the winter rains come, or snow, depending where you're at.
Yeah. And you're not so warmed up.
No, we're a bit chilly. I was actually out last night watching my son play soccer, and I think it was about 4 or 5 degrees. So we were very cold watching him play. But it's good. We're starting to do the opposite of you because we're in the southern hemisphere, so we're starting to warm up. So I think everyone's looking forward to spring. Summer, when it gets over 44 degrees Celsius, it's a bit warm, but when it gets into the 30s, it's not so bad.
No. Really.
Now, a few months ago, YWAM Paisley Scotland put out a post about the next step after the DTS and some of the options that they have. We'll talk actually about some of the second school options later on in this show. Tell you a few options that I have. But it got me thinking about, where you and I started, Lydia, and how we got involved in YWAM after the DTS. So we actually did talk about this last time, but I didn't record it. So we'll have another go. So do you want to just let people know how you joined YWAM?
Well, my parents were part of YWAM, so that was my first introduction. I grew up in a YWAM base. But after my DTS, it was very, very clearly the Lord that told me to stay in staff because I wanted to continue studying. And so, I had to just let that go, receive what the Lord had for me. And so I stayed staffed. Yeah.
Nice.
It's been very good.
For myself, I'd only planned to come to Australia for 6 to 12 months, and that was back in 98. So when I was here, God kind of spoke otherwise, that he had other plans. And after making so many plans, I'll say another 6 months, I just gave up. And it's like, however long God has me doing it. I think it's 27 years now. So definitely not what I was expecting. I thought I'd come to Australia for, to try to understand a bit more who God was with my discipleship training school, but God had other plans and he kind of had me stick around. So it's a bit different.
Yeah. Wow. Now I've only been staffing a year and a half. So,
there we go.
Long way to go still.
Yeah. Now, you actually grew up in the YWAM base in South Africa, is that right?
Yes, YWAM Booster.
Okay.
So if you add that, maybe 22 years I've been in YWAM.
There you go. Yes, I think it counts. That's all good.
Yeah.
Now, you guys have been busy in this last week, haven't you?
Yes, we have. All of Europe, actually.
Wow.
Yeah, we had just come back from a 110 conference in YWAM Grimerud. That's a base in Norway. And we had a conference of 3 days where 10 bases from all around Europe, we gathered to for this vision and objectives that we have that our national leader, Andreas, will explain in this following video.
Hi friends, my name is Andreas and I lead YWAM in Norway. Welcome to the first gathering of the Band of Bases. Yes, I know, the name is a bit lame, but that's what we're calling it. Let me take you on a journey to explain what this is. First, our mission is clear. That's to know God and to make Him known. That's why we exist. Nothing less and nothing more. Secondly, God has given us two pictures of the future we see with our mind's eye. These two are like a lighthouse. We dream about them, we envision them, and we strategize and work to see them become reality. And honestly, I've given my life to this cause. So what are these two pictures? First, we see a generation of young Christians emerging in Europe who are not ashamed of the gospel. And secondly, we see waves of young Europeans going to the heart and dark places of the world, especially to the unreached. We believe Europe will once again become a major missionary sending continent. This is our vision and this is our mission. This is the why behind the Band of Bases. Now, let's continue by talking about the what. Over the last 5 years, we've gathered 130,000 people across Europe at various Descend events. Descend has given us an unprecedented opportunity to call a generation of Europeans to go all in for Jesus, to go wherever, whenever, and to do whatever for the sake of the gospel. Our numbers shows that on average, 12 to 14% of all participants at Descend are considering missions as a possibility. This means that we are sitting on thousands of names in our CRMs of young people who are saying they will go. With these numbers in mind, and if we continue to run Descend across Europe, it's not unrealistic to believe we could gather 1 million people around the Great Commission in the next 10 years. And follow me now. If 10% of these say yes to missions, that's 100,000 people. And then if 10% of these 100,000 actually become missionaries, that's 10,000 new missionaries from Europe. So this is what the Band of Bases is aiming for. Gather 1 million and send 10,000. And that's the what of the Band of Bases. Now, let's move on to the how. To succeed, we have identified 6 common cultures we want our bases to be shaped by. First of all, we share the gospel boldly. Secondly, we favor youth culture. Thirdly, we measure what matters using metrics. Number 4, we hunger for the presence of God. Number 5, we take faith-based risks. And finally, we're led by the apostolic. Together with the values of YWAM, this is how we do it. And finally, who are we? We are 10 bases across Europe that are committed to the mission of knowing God and making Him known, committed to the vision of youth revival in Europe and waves of European going to the unreached. We're committed to the overarching goal of gathering 1 million and to send 10,000 missionaries to the unreached of the coming generation. And then we are committed to the same cultures that define how we work. So from Harpenden, Amsterdam, Heidelberg, Nuremberg, Berlin, Lausanne, Paris, Romania, Rogaland and Grimmerud, welcome to the first Band of Bases boot camp, August 23rd to the 26th at Grimmerud, Norway. Who can come? From these 10 bases, we invite base leadership teams, DTS leaders, emerging DTS leaders, school leaders, training directors, worship leaders, worship staff, communicators, social media guys, mobilizers, traveling teams, CRM and tech guys, youth leaders and workers, event leaders, managers, and emerging leaders, and others that want to be part of it. We will do skill-based teaching on the cultures, building strategies, setting goals, praying for Europe, seeking Jesus together as we envision the future of what Europe could look like. And obviously, we're going to have a lot of fun together. So welcome to Grimmerud, Norway. Hope to see you there.
Well, that looked like a pretty exciting conference. You just got back from that. So how did you find it?
Oh, I found it so good, and especially to connect with all the bases like for around Europe. I think that was one of the best things that, like, if this is our vision and our goal for Europe, we have to meet and be together and have the same vision and objective, and how can we help each other and how can we go forward the same, you know? So I thought that was really, really good. That's awesome. And just before we started this podcast, I got a message from on our group from Andreas, our national leader, that he said some statistics. I'll read them out to you. So far, we have gathered about 160,000 people since January 2021 at different kinds of descent gatherings, with an average of about 10% commuting to missions. About the same number committing to schools and neighborhoods. Obviously, the big challenge is to fill the gap between mobilizing and training. That's why we do 110. At the 110 gathering, we had 200 participants from 11 bases and ministries across Europe. Yeah. So, seems to be going strong already.
That's awesome. It's exciting. Yeah. I mean, Jesus tells us, you know, where two or more are gathered, that's where it happens. So it's great to see that many people coming together and moving forward with it. That's really neat. Did you have like a personal highlight from it?
Oh, I think for my personal, we had breakout teams. So we would have teachings with Matt Nelson from Circuit Riders, and he came to teach about these cultures that we want to set and visions. And but then we had breakout groups into each department and school. And so we had a media breakout group, and it was so nice to meet with, because I do media, to meet with the other media leaders from other bases and to learn from them. And to dream together and plan. And so I think that was really good. I feel like we took a really step forward, you know?
Yeah.
And so I think that was my highlight.
Oh, that's fantastic. I look forward to hearing what comes from it. Because what did the text say? It was over 100,000 people since the beginning of the year?
160,000.
Holy smokes.
That gathered.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. But from 2021, January 2021. Oh, 2021.
But still, that's a lot of people.
Yeah.
So, that's good. And like they said, even if 10% of 10% go, that's over 1,000 missionaries sent out. So
exactly.
That's good. Good. I look forward to hearing what else happens from it, because you guys are having the send actually come into Norway, aren't you?
Yes, I think I might be out of the loop, but I think there's one happening next year.
Yes, I think I saw something on one of the social media platforms about that. So that'll be cool. Bring some more people together too. So it's good. So I wanted to continue with this month's news by talking about what just happened in Nepal yesterday. Now, YWAM does have multiple teams in Nepal. So this was in Nepal as well as in China. And so we're waiting to hear from some of our teams. Now, we did actually on the WhatsApp, one of the WhatsApp groups that I'm involved with, we got this update. And this was from one of the teams, or the leaders of one of the teams. And the message was, our family's fine here, but we lost many good friends. A major dam in China broke, causing mass devastation downriver. There's thousands dead, and roads are washed away, making aid very difficult. Our team here on the ground are working on securing blankets, food, and tarps for relief efforts, as many are without homes. But the struggle is getting supplies to those in need, as many places can only be reached by helicopters. They're really appreciating our prayers. Now, we'll continue to update you with what's happening on our social media channels, but in the meantime, we can pray for those who are affected and those who are working to help.
This month, Colombia experienced a strong and destructive earthquake. We have numerous teams in the nation and have received updates from some. This is an update from a team from YWAM Louisville that had a team of 12 serving at the nation at that time. Our hearts continue to be with the people of Pereira and surrounding communities who have suffered tremendous loss. We are praying that God will bring comfort, strength, and hope to all who have been affected by this tragedy. The team has been volunteering in the hardest hit areas to distribute food and water, to rescue workers laboring through the rubble in the downtown Pereira. They found it very sobering experience that compressed upon them with the devastation caused by the earthquake, while deepening their gratitude for God's protection over their own lives. The team is also running a children's ministry program for the many neighborhood children who play in the streets outside their temporary housing. They are working to minister and serve alongside locals and provide practical assistance where it is welcomed and needed. Unfortunately, updates from our other teams are sparse, but we will be updating you when we can and receive more things and find them.
Now, on June 24th, Venezuela was actually struck by two devastating earthquakes, measuring 7.2 and 7.5 magnitude, that left thousands dead and missing and thousands of families without homes, food, and hope. Behind every collapsed building is a family trying to rebuild their lives. Now, since the first day, Youth of the Mission Venezuela has been serving alongside local churches, welcoming displaced families, supporting rescue teams, praying with those who mourn, and bringing practical help to those who have lost everything. Now they're launching 4 different emergency outreach programs. First is food packages with essential protein for affected families. They're also doing backpacks filled with school supplies so children can return to school with dignity. They're doing trauma healing storybooks designed to help children process grief after natural disasters. They're also doing a 2-week relief mission to one of the hardest hit communities, providing food, clean water, and medical supplies. Now, every donation, no matter the amount, becomes hope in action. It feeds a family, comforts a child, and reminds people that they're not forgotten. YWAM Puerto La Cruz and YWAM Caracas have been actively working to respond to the emergency. I've not been able to find an active website or social media for Puerto La Cruz, but we will include a link to the YWAM Caracas website in the show notes so you can donate, get prayer updates, and see how you can help.
Hurricane Lala caused major damage across Kau and other parts of the Big Islands of Hawaii. YWAM Kona is operating a volunteer distribution center, coordinating local outreach teams with partner churches and collecting financial gifts to buy supplies and gift cards for affected families. YWAM Kona has set up a distribution center in the YWAM UFN Kona campus. The distribution center is accepting relief donations to help families and communities affected by the Hurricane Lala. All the donations received will be sorted into relief kits and delivered with our local outreach teams for distribution alongside partner churches and ministries. Head over to ywamkona.org/relief to find out more.
YWAM Medical Ships Australia continues to work to restore sight in remote Papua New Guinea.
Cataracts are the leading cause of preventable blindness in Papua New Guinea. In the Delta Fly district, we have no eye surgeons, so those with cataracts have a serious problem. Together with STP, WPHA, and the hospitality of neighboring villages, we are changing that. We are one team. STP helps bring the patients from Balimo to the ship. The Balimo hospital team accompanies them and cares for them throughout their journey. YWAM brings the eye surgeons and volunteers to these remote communities, and the surrounding communities provide accommodation and hospitality. Together, each of us have a part to play. When everyone does their part, lives are changed.
So you can head on over to ywamships.org.au to find out more about the ministry.
We also have YWAM Ships Kona serving NPIG.
Papua New Guinea, the land of 1,000 tongues. It's home to over 840 languages. Each language connected to a community with its own culture, and its community scattered across mountains, coastlines, and islands. But with incredible diversity comes our challenge. Only 2% of these languages have a complete translation of the Bible. So how can we help? We meet them where they're at. Our ship paves the way to serve communities with medical relief. By meeting a physical need We create relationships and trust to partner with the local people in Bible translation. And thanks to these clinics, we see lives impacted daily. We get the chance to walk alongside the local communities, caring for them, educating them, and offering reassurance in moments of uncertainty. Because we don't just treat our patients, we care for them as a whole, body, mind, and soul. And when our human ability runs out, it's our prayers that remain. It's in these moments that we see hope begin to arise. Dignity is restored, and doors are opened for the gospel to be heard in every tribe and tongue.
One of the results of the Bible translation project in PNG is that the Ono Basolo people have received the complete New Testament in their own language for the very first time. The journey began when their spoken language did not even have a written alphabet. Translators worked alongside the community to study its sounds, grammar, and vocabulary before scripture could even be gradually translated. Copies of the New Testament were flown into the remote village where thousands gathered to celebrate. Some traveled for hours and others for days through the jungle just to witness God's word arriving in the language closest to their hearts. This is one of 850 languages that are in need of the Bible in their language, and it is exciting to see that these translations come online and for people to experience the New Testament in their own heart language.
Now, YWAM San Diego recently produced this mini documentary about a woman named Given who was born in Uganda.
Her name was Given. Born in Uganda, not born as a blessing, but named Given because her family did not want her and gave her away. Her early life marked by rejection, abuse, and isolation. By 19, she was the mother of 4 children. Later, she met her husband David, and together they raised 9 children in a small mud hut in Kakira, Uganda. Life was hard, yet she endured with a quiet, steady strength. One night the rains came down so fiercely around Given's hut. The winds tore the roof away and the wall collapsed. In the darkness, Given cried out, "Lord, why have you abandoned me?" But heaven was already on the move with an answer of hope. The next morning, a group of YWAM missionaries, part of the Homes of Hope ministry, were traveling through her region. They had come to Uganda to serve a family in need. On their way to another neighborhood to choose a family to help, they got lost. They stopped at Given's collapsed home to ask for directions. Standing there with her, they realized that God had guided them to her doorstep. They quickly adjusted their plan. When Given heard they wanted to build a home for her family, she was overjoyed. God had heard her cry. Now she prayed a bold new prayer. "Lord, hold back the rain until the house is built." Even in the heart of the rainy season, the clouds obeyed. The YWAM team from Mexico, along with the YWAM Uganda staff and Given's family, all worked side by side, raising walls, singing praises to God, thankful for his provision. Not a drop of rain fell. Only when Given's family stepped into their newly finished home did the sky finally open, raining for the first time in 3 weeks. Inside that shelter, safe and dry, everyone lifted their voices in thanksgiving to God. Given's name now rewritten, no longer given away, but given grace, given mercy, given a future, given new hope. We serve a God of hope. He can rewrite every cursed name that life has tried to place upon you. You are not defined by rejection, hardship, or your past. You are defined by the power of hope and the generosity of God. May the God of hope fill you with all joy and peace as you trust in him, so that you may overflow with hope by the power of the Holy Spirit.
If you're around in Steinbach in Manitoba, Canada on October 1st, Island Breeze Manitoba will be having a special fundraising luau. It'll be the night to celebrate what God has been doing through Island Breeze and share where they are heading next. There will be an island food, live music, cultural dance, stories from young people whose lives are being impacted, door prizes, and lots of Island Breeze fun. Check out their Facebook page for more details.
Now, those are our stories for this month. Now shift to training opportunities and what's coming up. Like we shared at the beginning, there's lots of opportunities in Youth of the Mission that you can do once you've done your discipleship training school. And we just have 3 second-level schools to present to you this month, starting with the Bible School for the Nations that YWAM Madison is doing in the United States.
Hi, my name is Leslie, and I serve with YWAM Madison as part of the Bible School for the Nations and the YWAM Ministry Co-Belt. And I want to share with you what makes the BSN an important Bible school. There's more information on the internet than anyone could consume in their life. Despite this, it can still be hard to find information that creates the lasting change that people seek in their lives. We know the Bible is where we find truth, but sometimes, no matter how many commentaries we read, it can still be hard to connect with. Or maybe you already feel close to God and His Word, but you struggle to share that with others. One of the coolest things about the Bible is that it's largely a collection of stories. We all have stories we love. Maybe they're ones you've read, or heard, or watched. How have those stories affected who you are today? Maybe they inspired you, cheered you up, warned you, or gave you a practical lesson. Like other skills, we can learn how to understand and share stories effectively. They change the way we see the world and shape the way we live our lives. The changes that stories create are lasting. They're easy to remember, applicable to everyday life, and natural to share with others. With that said, we invite you to join us for the next Bible School for the Nations at YWAM Madison. In the BSN, you will experience the whole story of Scripture and learn how to study and share those stories with others. After that time soaked in the Word, you'll serve Christians in other countries with YWAM Belt by engaging the Bible through stories. So that the whole world can know the truth of the greatest story, and the truth of Jesus can set them free.
So the next school will begin next year, September 13th, 2027, and run through till March 13th of 2028. And for more information, you can head over to the website, ywmadison.org, or you can find the link in the show notes.
Next is YWAM Ozarks in USA will be running a community development school. The Community Development School, CDS, will equip you with principles, skills, and perspectives for you to make a holistic kingdom impact in unreached communities. The CDS will give you a biblical training, practical skills, and prepare you for effective ministry in frontier context, with the goal of having a global impact. YWAM Ozarks is running the school from September 17th to December 12th of 2026. You can find out more about their website at ywamozarks.org/CDS. Now, last one for this month at YWAM Cebu, Philippines, the School of the Frontier Missions prepares you to cross cultures, share good news, and make disciples that make disciples. Learn from international speakers with a wealth of field experience. It is a life-changing school, training you to be a pioneer, equipping you with time-proven tools to impact people or nations God put on your heart. The next SOFM starts on January 31st of 2027, and you can find out more on their website, which we'll link below in the show notes.
Now, I wanted to finish up this show with a message and challenge from Jeff Walks about what makes a successful ministry in YWAM.
All right, so what's your name and where do you serve?
I'm Jeff Walkus. I live in Colorado Springs.
And how long have you been in YWAM for?
Been in YWAM since January '99.
Wow. And how do you define success in YWAM?
I think about success in YWAM is if the people that I'm discipling are fervently following Jesus and making disciples 5 years later, I think we're doing pretty well.
Awesome. And how would you maintain a calling in YWAM?
I would say at this point in my life, rhythms, practices that you do every day, rhythms of disciplines, rhythms of study, rhythms of worship, rhythms of eating and celebrating. I think it's far less about thinking about like trying to have a successful ministry in YWAM, and it's really all about, am I rooting myself deeper and deeper in the person of Jesus within a community?
Awesome. And if you could give one piece of advice to the next generation of YWAMers, what would it be?
One piece of advice for the next generation of YWAMers. I would say go somewhere where there is no YWAM and build something. Learn a language, befriend local people, build a community, and do something and let God be all that you need to develop something that expands his kingdom. Go pioneer something new, build something new, try something, fail spectacularly, take risks, like just go try something new that has no guarantee of success, because that's what gets us so deeply rooted in trusting Jesus. Like go somewhere, try something amazing with God that you might spectacularly fail at, because that potential of failure, like that's where we just go, I need God, I need to root myself in his word, I need my community around me. That desperation where there's no guarantee of success and there's no nothing to fall back on, it's just like me and God and my community doing this thing. I think that's what cultivates lifelong, robust disciples in the real world.
Oh, there you go. I thought that was a good tie into, what Lidia and I were chatting about at the beginning of the episode about how we got started in YWAM and just the challenge that Jeff put to us. Now, I think, Lidia, I've seen you step out in that. You were crazy enough to join me on this. It's something that you hadn't done before, but it was good. And
Take
then
a risk.
And you've got more, you even got more team members now that you're having to work with and learning how to do that and just all sorts of stuff that you're stepping out and excited with. So it's good. It's always good to trust God, even if you have no idea how it's going to work out.
No, definitely. But it's been good. Good to take a risk and learn from it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's where I've learned the most in my life, is going into the unknown.
Yeah. Well, I think that's one of the things that YWAM really does. Like Jeff was saying, one of the things that YWAM really champions is the fact that, it sends us young people, kind of like the 12 disciples, like they were young adults, like late teens, and Jesus chose them to spread the gospel. They weren't rabbis. They weren't people who had actually, gone through training or anything, but somehow Jesus entrusted them with spreading the gospel at the beginning. And I love how YWAM is continuing to empower young people to do the same thing. And it's fun. And I really enjoy doing this with you and sharing some of the opportunities that people have around the world with what they can do. So it's good. It's fun.
It's fun. Thank you, Bill. No. So this concludes this month's episode. If you want to follow along with the work that I'm doing with my team, you can find us on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube at YWAM Rogaland.
Now, if you don't want to follow the YWAM podcast, you can find links to everything at ywampodcast.com. And for myself, my personal website is billhutchison.org. Now, we are trying to get more active on social media. So we're on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. Right now, we're streaming live on some of those channels. We've had a couple people chatting over on our live stream on YouTube. So that's fun. I think about almost 840 people have tuned in at some point during this. So that's exciting. Glad to get to tell more and more people about what is happening around the world with Youth of Mission, what God is doing. So you can leave us feedback on any of our social media channels. And if you head over to ywampodcast.com/172, once I've edited this and got everything online, you can find links to all the stories we talk about and also watch all the videos. So thank you so much for joining us. And Lidia, thanks again. We did a bit more testing ahead of time, so we know everything's working this time, which is good. So thank you. And I really look forward to doing this again with you next month.
Thank you, Bill. Likewise. I'll be waiting for you next month.
Good.